ACs next to each other. What could happen next? Got my impact cordless, bunch of bits, and we're gonna start taking this thing apart. Stay tuned. Looks like these are all held in with like kind of J-hook kind of bolts. These are not true bolts by any stretch of the imagination. You can see up in there, they're like hooked, which is fine. There's another one up there, and that's kind of how the unit stays on the roof. But it's gonna come off, so I'm gonna take this little plate off. But before I do anything electrical, I'm gonna shut the power down so I don't get zapped. I really don't feel like getting zapped. There we go. Get it up there, and that way I know it's unplugged and there's no power. Once that is out, into the AC unit from the control panel, and I'm hoping that this will all just fit in a diagonal going out the hole. I don't really feel like taking all this out, but let's get this loosened up. Oh yeah, there we go. When I gotta be careful when pulling this out, because there is one stud that's not J-hook like these other guys. Right here, right? So they're not like these where they just hook in. I got one that obviously is mounted inside the unit, so if I pull this out and just let it rest on the roof, that sucker's probably going to punch a hole through my aluminum roof. So I'm going to have to be a little careful on that when I go to pull this out. Okay, out with the old, in with the new, and as I mentioned, there's a bolt underneath one of these. I think it's that corner that I need to be really careful of. What I'll do is I'll flip this over that way. I hope. Of course, you know, we've got a pan down here, and we've got all sorts of crazy stuff wedged in here to keep this curb higher than the rain, which has crept in a wonderful thunderstorm, of course, right after I take the AC unit out. That noise in the background is all the roofing contractors fixing people's roofs. However, you can see here I've got the unit, the base unit inside on, along with these long screws that go up into the unit. So I've got that kind of lined up, and I'm going to take my screw gun and put a different attachment on it, get these things tightened up, snugged up. Alright, so we got the center baffle here we got to put in. It says this side faces towards front of air conditioner, that's the front of the air conditioner. And this is the piece that basically goes in this slot. If you can tell, it goes in that slot like that. And then that goes up in there and basically separates the two sides of the air conditioner from each other, the intake and the supply. Had to do some digging around. I had my meter I found, then I had to go back and get my electrician's tool here, which I highly recommend if you do any kind of electrical work. So it's good to have one of these high quality electrical tools. We've got our ground wire all secured, and now we're gonna go and do black to black and white to white. So let's get this going over here. And again, this is no longer live, so I should be fine, I hope. So let's get that in. It's getting very late here. I have my heater unit of heat that I need to install here. I've watched a video. The plug needs to go through this little slot here. The heater unit needs to go here. The only issue I have is that these little tap holes don't match up with this shroud. Here is the Dometic unit with the heat shield put on for the heat, electric heat. And I'm going to turn this down. The air conditioner is ready to roll, so I'm hoping if I can remember which one here is the heat and the air conditioning, we can go from there. Well, as we go through our wonderful AC install up here, ran into a bit of an electrical issue, and that is, I believe that the old Brisk Air original unit was only running on a 20 amp breaker, and I believe this one needs a 30 amp breaker or more than the 20 amp breaker. It's tripping the breaker every time it tries to start in. I'm going to check for shorts, make sure there aren't any other issues going on, but yeah, little hiccup in the install. It does happen. Let's troubleshoot it and see what we can do to fix it. There we go, I got it. Wow. could definitely see that streak over the house.